Hey guys, and welcome to another video game pickups video, episode 11. We got 20 quick games to go through here today. So without further ado, let's bring out Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights. You'll notice here that I have the Japanese version of the game, and it's because I can't recall why I couldn't secure myself a North American release. It might have been a limited run thing here, which is why I got it from Play Asia. Those guys have some great stuff on some titles that don't normally get a Western release. Or if you miss out on some limited run stuff, I recommend you check out their website so that you can get awesome Metroidvanias, such as this game that's been highly recommended by my brother. He's been giving it lots of praise and urging me to check it out. I love Metroidvanias, and this one has the usual gameplay elements that you would find in those games. The visuals look pretty cool. I'm very eager to get into this one at some point in the near future. Hopefully, I've been diligently beating games in 2023. I think we're sitting at 8 so far, and it's not even March. So I'm going to give myself a pat on the back for that. But this one looks really neat. Oh, and I also got myself one of these things. PSVR 2. It is phenomenal. I've been busy pretending to be an astronaut in No Man's Sky, but I want to check out something like Resident Evil 8 that has that VR upgrade too. I've been having a blast with this new headset. Next up, Octopath Traveler 2 from Square Enix. I got myself the Switch version to match part 1, as I believe this is a multi-platform release this time around, or not so much a timed exclusive like the first iteration of the game. Some more traditional JRPG turn-based combat here with 8 branching paths. I believe these are brand new characters, aside from the original 8. The first game was really sweet. I enjoyed the combat dynamic. There's this sort of order and some planning, some pre-planning that you had to do with every attack to kind of coordinate what you were going to do to the enemy, if you're going to break their guard and that sort of thing. So there's some strategizing involved there. I'm assuming this is more of the same. It looks really cool. I don't know when I'll get to this one, as I still have not yet beaten the first one, which was a little bit too linear for my liking, to be honest. I was expecting a little bit more freedom of choice, given that you had 8 separate characters with kind of interlacing storylines, but also unique on their own. Maybe I was just playing it wrong, but look at the cover art. It looks pretty sweet. Same awesome graphical style here with the retro bit 2.5D HD, modern but retro looking at the same time. It's good stuff. You guys should check it out. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Again, not really a Kirby guy, but this game has been getting some praise, even though it just came out. There's all sorts of Kirby goodness and co-op stuff that you can do here. Of course, this is a re-release of an older game. I'm not really in the loop here because, again, I'm not the biggest Kirby fan. I did very much enjoy the Forgotten Land, which I still need to play through. But yeah, here we have this one. Keeping on with the Switch games, you guys may have seen me stream Dawn of the Monsters here from Limited Run. This game is so much fun. I am enjoying this side-scrolling beat-em-up with a unique cel-shaded look to it. It's kind of like King of the Monsters, that old school game here, but with it's modern quality of life improvements here. You get 4 playable characters to start with. I'm unaware if there are any additional ones, but plenty of skins to unlock for each one. You have them here, like this Godzilla-looking guy. You got like a crustacean, and 2 more like traditional Ultraman-looking giant ninja Power Ranger things. But it's super fun, and you can tear the heads off of the giant kaijus that you fight. Really, really addicting gameplay. You want to try and get the perfect score so that you can unlock all the skins that there are to unlock. And this one, of course, since it's from limited run, comes with just a brief, like a very thin manual with some background on some of the characters and that sort of stuff. Not too substantial, but it's always nice to see these things packaged in with limited runs releases. I very much enjoy that as much as I've been enjoying the game. I'm looking forward to beating this one at some point pretty soon, actually. Another beat 'em up here that I got from Play Asia. This is actually the Chinese copy of River City Saga: The Three Kingdoms. There is a reason why I got the Chinese copy of the game. Well, first and foremost, Play Asia again. This game did not get a physical release in the Western world here, so I got myself this one. But the Chinese version gives you the option to experience the game with some English text. It's actually, as soon as I plugged it into my Switch, it defaulted to English. I think if you get the Japanese version of this game, you won't have that option to experience it in English. So I did a little bit of research there and got myself a copy of this long-running franchise of the whole River City thing, right? So you got your dudes here. If you look at the character sprites, you'd be very familiar with how they looked back in the NES days. I played the game briefly, and I think there's kind of like a hub world and a bigger wild area that you kind of traverse to get to your next objectives with minions to battle on your way to each point. So it's kind of open world-ish, but not really. What I'm trying to say is not too linear, and it's got that retro look to it, but a modern setting, as in like the actual landscapes and that sort of stuff. So it's got this really neat mishmash of aesthetics going on here with the graphics, and it works well. I still need to play it a bit more to like it a little bit more, because right now it's just kind of like, that's cool, and I put it away for a bit. But yeah, that's super cool. My first Chinese copy of a game. Then we got Fist on the Switch. I kept hearing about this game and how it's like a Metroidvania, and I like those, right? So here you have a rabbit protagonist with a giant robotic arm, kind of like Doomfist from Overwatch, right? Published by Microids. Those guys have done some cool stuff. I believe they actually published Sifu, so shout out to them. And this particular copy, thanks to Walmart, is a limited edition. I'm not a huge fan of these like cardboard sleeve games because it's a pain in the butt to kind of take out, and to store back into this little sleeve is even worse. But just a minor gripe there, and it comes with some meaningless art cards to me, really. What is this, like some sort of rabbit nexus, right? Blank on the back. A little sticker sheet as well with your furry friend in the front. If you want to plaster your car and look really cool, you can put those on there. Then you got this dystopian metropolis, kind of steampunkish vibes, I think, from this game. Again, some sort of terminal here. Oh, this doesn't belong. No, I'll show you where that does belong, though. And check out the steelbook, right? So this isn't the retail release, just the regular copy. I am unaware if there is a non-limited edition that excludes the steelbook, but that's also kind of a weird OCD gripe that I have. Is like I would like to have the retail display case copy or box for this game, but no, I'm stuck with this weird looking Mario Strikers aesthetic for this game, and might have to obscure the code that's inside for that amazing soundtrack, I'm sure. But check it out. That's always nice to have one of these, right? So there it is. We got Fist on the back. Forged in Shadow Torch. Very nice. I'll check it out at some point. I've heard good things about the game. Not blowing anyone out of the water, but it seems like a solid pickup to add to the collection. I had to whip out the notepad for this one. We got Komaju Remelia's Scarlet Symphony. Again, from Play Asia. This is the Japanese version. For reasons mentioned before, I had to resort to getting it from that website. And this is an interesting looking, I would actually call this a Castlevania-like. It's not really Metroidvania because it's level-based, right? So you just get through level 1, level 2, very linear, but the aesthetics are very reminiscent of Castlevania games. You can't really see it from the small screenshots here, but it looked interesting. Like you might be this dude, or is it a chick with a whip, and you know, slay monsters and that sort of thing. You kind of have like the Dracula's castle there with the blood moon in the back. Cool stuff. It looked very interesting. I don't think it's too long of a game, so I'll delve into this one at some point here in 2023. Right, so that postcard that wasn't supposed to be hanging out with the rabbit, it's actually from Cannon Dancer, and shout out to Strictly Limited, one of those, limited release companies here that put out this arcade classic that I already beat. I streamed it once, and I got really close to beating it on that stream, but I got stuck on one of the later levels that you had to kind of study to get down to a science. Mega Man in style, right? Cannon Dancer Osman. Very obscure title in my opinion. I hadn't heard of it before, but once I took a look at the visuals, I have number 320 of 4,000 copies. Man, the visuals in this game are so... they're weird, man. Are they... I think they're early 90s... I don't think it's late 80s. I think it's early 90s. If you're... Look at me struggling here, trying not to mess up this nice manual with the nice lady on it. Check it out. You're this guy that's been betrayed and then like thrown into the desert, and you're seeking revenge, and you're just slaughtering hordes of enemies in spectacular fashion with some flippy kicks and cartwheels, and there's blood and gore and some really, really neat looking enemies. The enemy design is top-notch, very surreal aesthetics to this game. But it was a fun playthrough. I almost wanted to get myself an arcade stick because this was an arcade quarter guzzling game back in the day, and it'd be cool to kind of have that authentic experience when playing it. But it's a short playthrough. You could probably blaze through it in 30 to 45 minutes if you're a really cool guy and know how to play it. But yeah, I had my fun with it, and I'll actually play it occasionally every now and then. In the past couple of weeks, I've beaten it a couple times. It's a sweet game. A couple Fire Emblem games. The brand new one here, we got Fire Emblem Engage. I heard they kind of trimmed the fat from another game that we're going to speak of very shortly here. This is more cut to the chase. Let's get into the battles. The traditional Fire Emblem style here, grid-based, turn-based, strategizing sort of thing. And I've never been a giant Fire Emblem fan either. Just, my time has been spent on Super Smash. And then Overwatch, when that came out, was like 5 years of my life down the drain. But then, I still appreciate everything that comes out, and I start hoarding games so, in the hopes of someday experiencing the brilliance which is the Fire Emblem franchise. But I heard this is a very nice return to form for them, even though every title up to date hasn't really been a letdown. They all just kind of follow that tried and true formula that really clicks with a lot of people, and I love strategy games as well. So I know I'll have fun here. And yeah, this is just the latest iteration, and it looks really cool. You got your protagonist here. You can either be a male or female, and you call upon spirits of the past and that sort of thing. But you have this weird dual color hair that kind of looks like toothpaste. This is the game I was alluding to before. You know, of course, if I got Engage, I had to get the critically lauded title that came before it, which was Fire Emblem Three Houses, and I've heard excellent things about this game as well. This one being a little bit more story-based, like the dialogue and the interactions in between characters is more fleshed out than its successor. But yeah, I don't mind that at all. You know, if I'm in the mood for reading, I guess I'll pop this one instead of the other. But good stuff here as well. Just your usual awesome Fire Emblem stuff. We got Byleth, right? Either male or female. I guess you always have that option. And, or at least more recently you do. Good stuff here from Atlas. Yeah. Okay. Last Switch game. Oh man, are they just teasing us with Metroid Prime 4. We have what a lot of people think is one of the best games of all time. Metroid Prime, but this is the remastered here on the Switch. This came to the surprise of many on that Nintendo Direct, and they were dropping that physical release shortly after that Nintendo Direct, and you know I had to jump on it. Samus is one of my all-time favorite video game characters. Just a lot of memories and nostalgia attached to the intergalactic bounty hunter here. I bought Metroid Prime back when it first came out. It was around my birthday, I remember, for the GameCube. And of course, as a gamer with some sort of like gaming OCD or with some sort of gaming ADD, I never finished that game, but I played it a lot. And that game was just so atmospheric and creepy at times that I think that kind of strayed me away from it. I'm a pussy cat when it comes to scary games, right? So that game had some element of horror, but lots of exploration here and just extremely excellent. Remade here, it looks so gosh darn good on the Switch with a lot of accessibility options or customization for your button mapping. You could play it very much like a modern first-person shooter, because if you were to go back to the original, you'll know that it was very Nintendo-y and like a unique take on the first-person shooter. It was more exploring too, just like all the elements of Metroid turned into a first-person perspective. They thought it couldn't be done, or people were just like raising an eyebrow back in the day when it first released, but now it's holding up to be one of the most amazing games ever. And here it is, remastered, looking better than ever with some options to, you know, it's currently in my Switch because I must play through this game now with, you know, more years of game experience and savvy. I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to beat this game. Will they remaster Part 2 and 3 before Part 4 comes out? I don't know. Is Part 4 going to come out on the Switch? Is it going to be for the Switch too? I want Part 4, Prime 4, to be a third-person Souls-like. How amazing would that be? Just think about it. Speaking of horror games, let's move on to some PS5 stuff. We got Dead Space, the remake. So I do have the original trilogy on the PS3, right? Just like the independent games. But it seems to be the norm that with the awesome graphics that we have at our disposal nowadays, like developers want to bring forth those classics in a brand new light. And holy crap, this game looks almost photorealistic, and it just adds to the creepiness. I never played the original, but I actually streamed this not too long ago at the time of this recording, and wow, I had fun with it. It's really cool. It just, you know, you guys all know Dead Space. It's you know, you're Isaac Clarke, and you just have a power tool, and you're trying to dismember these crazy the necromorphs or whatever they're called, and man, with the graphics and the lighting effects, this game looks awesome, and it's actually really fun too. So I might end up playing it all by my ding-dong self and try not to get scared just so I can experience what is supposed to be a really, really awesome game. So yeah, I'm pumped for this one. Very, very quickly now. Quickly, my wife is a giant Harry Potter fan, and that's okay. So she actually went ahead and purchased Hogwarts Legacy here. And a lot of people are actually saying that this game is sweet. And now, granted, she has only had the chance to play this for about 20 minutes because maybe I've been hogging up the PS5, or we're just very busy people. But it's supposed to be an awesome game, and that's cool. It looks great. You got like the whole open world experience, I think. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. It seems to be good. Last PS5 game, actually, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. I've kind of lost track of the Shantae games, but I know for a fact that I needed this one. And I got it for the PS5 because I saw it available. And I was like, yes, I need one of these Metroidvania-style games. They're all really cool, or at least that's what I've heard. Really cool-looking visuals, retro visuals, very colorful and vivid. Side-scrolling action platformer of sorts here. You're the Shantae, the genie that whips enemies with her long hair and turns into different animals or something, right? That's good stuff. Some PS4 games. Spongebob SquarePants and the Cosmic Shake. Yeah. These are 3D platforming collectathon or action games, right? Published by THQ Nordic. I'm a fan of theirs. They publish some pretty quality stuff. And I know that Battle for Bikini Bottom, for example, is actually a crowd favorite. So I was assuming this game would be the same, right? Just more the same goodness. Haven't checked it out myself, but I'm gonna start collecting the freaking SpongeBob games, I guess. Ooh, Jitsu Squad, man. I have a few things to say about this game. It's a beat 'em up first and foremost, right? Not just a single plane side-scrolling, right? You have a little bit of depth to the playing field, and I played it on master difficulty. It was a lot of fun. I ended up beating it. It didn't take me too long, maybe about less than 5 hours, I would say. But it was a good experience. The visuals are sweet. The graphics look really cool. I love the design. It's silly. There's some actual laugh out loud moments here because the writing and kind of the voice acting can be pretty hilarious at times.
Hey, look! They have an arcade in here!
That's part.
Arcade!
I'm not really sure what universe these characters are from, if like Jitsu Squad is a legit thing or it's just exclusive to this one video game here, but you could play up to 4 players and stuff, but there's caveats left and right for this game. If you want to play with 4 players, you got to make sure you have your 3 friends with you at all times, because there's a single save slot in the game. Yeah, there's a single one. So, you know, if little Billy needs to go home and you're left with just 2 of your friends, well, then you better get your mom or something to take up that 4th controller, because the game gives you no option to revert to 3 players or anything like that. And then once you beat the game, you got to start over, and you can't replay any of the worlds. So you just got to play your way through the entire game again. And it's like, oh man, the replayability just tanks because of that. I had a couple game crashes in my playthrough as well, which kind of pissed me off. No one likes game crashes, but it's not like, oh, this game's unplayable. It just happened maybe like twice or thrice, and it was frustrating. But they came right at the moment when I needed to eat dinner or take a break anyway, so I didn't really mind. If the game had separate save slots, the ability for people to just jump into your play session, it would be easily like at least a 7 out of 10, because just what kept me playing was the gameplay itself is actually really fun. The button inputs are pretty precise. You can't just button mash your way through this game. The humor had me laughing as well. But come on, can we patch the game maybe? Because for now this thing is going directly on the shelf of memories, never to be played again. Yeah, Jitsu Squad. It's a good game overall, but it kind of pisses me off sometimes. River City Girls Zero. Another game from Way Forward, and this is another beat 'em up in that River City franchise or universe, right? So I took a quick glance at the back of the game here, because I just blindly went into this. I'm collecting the River City Girls and River City games in general now. This one actually adopts more of a retro aesthetic. I'm not really sure if you can make that out from the back of the box, but look up some gameplay or something, and you'll see that it's not using the River City Girls 1 or 2 style. It looks a little bit more retro-y, like maybe Super Nintendo-ish. And I haven't played it, but I love myself a good beat 'em up, and this is precisely that. All right, on to our last 3 games. We have a PS3 game, Ace Combat Assault Horizon. Whoa, this might have been a Radical Reggie recommendation, because I heard that it just has a very cheesy plot line, and just very different from all other Ace Combat games. You have some weird, like, I don't know. I think just the story's strange, but more aerial combat here. And that sort of thing. I guess you got your gritty detective guy turned into a fighter pilot, and maybe his arch nemesis or his best friend on the cover here. I'm not sure which, but I've been on the lookout for this game for a long time, and I finally found myself a very nice looking copy. We got the sole Game Boy Advance game, Mario Pinball Land. I looked at some reviews for this game, and the critics were just tearing it apart. They weren't big fans of how you progress through the game, but fast forward 23 years or whatever, and I'm just collecting this as a novelty. I have a soft spot for pinball games. I love me a good pinball game. Like, for example, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire pinball. That game is awesome. And if you like pinball games, try and grab yourself a copy of that. But anyways, Mario. I love Mario. So, this is a pinball game in the Mario universe. And yeah, like I can see the frustrations, right? Because progressing through the game can be kind of difficult, just because pinball can be kind of chancy in a way, or unless you're some sort of like pinball maverick, then you're in for a tough time, because you need to precisely fling those balls into the right slots, or else you're not going to progress, and then you got to battle against the clock and that sort of thing. But hey, this is a nice novelty to add to my collection. Happy. Last but certainly not least, we got Little King's Story by Xseed Games. And it's for the Wii. I hadn't really heard of this game before, but I stumbled upon it, and I am now familiar that Xseed publishes these kind of rare, sought-after games, and you know me, I need to have those sort of games. I checked it out briefly just to see what it was like, and ooh, it's pretty interesting. I didn't get far into it at all, but I can tell you already that it has this very T for teen appeal, because some of that humor might be a little bit crude, a little vulgar, and it's a Pikmin-like game, right? So you're this little dude that goes around recruiting the townsmen and just setting them off on, or embarking upon adventures with them, and I don't know, like gore ensues. Not really sure, but I took a brief look at the manual as well, and there's some stuff in here that looks like it could be a lot of fun. Like, look at these weird mushroom creatures that you have to just mob around, and hopefully you kill them. Like look at this toad there. Look at that toad just gulping a poor little villager straight down the gullet there. But yeah, it's a Pikmin-like game again, right? So I think you can recruit up to, I might be grossly incorrect here, but like 100 villagers, and you walk around and you fling them, and they each have their own occupations and stuff, so their own strengths and weaknesses and that sort of thing. But yeah, guys, that does it for this round of pickups. I hope you enjoyed these 20 unique games here. I know the vast majority of them are on Switch. It's my favorite console. I can confidently say that it is, but let me know down in the comments about a game like Cannon Dancer. You guys check out that stream? That was fun. Are you familiar with that game? I didn't even know it existed, but it came with this little art card, and that's all cool stuff. What about Play Asia, huh? Good stuff there, too. River City made a couple appearances on this video, but yeah, good stuff all around. Make sure to stop by in the next month. I'm already piling up my next games for y'all. Okay, bye.